What's that now? What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? You shorty bite. What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? You shorty bite. What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? Look at shorty bite. What ain't?
Welcome to Full Circle, your source of health, business, and entertainment. And my guest today, my special guest today, is a very highly respected, healthy lifestyle consultant, successful male model, author, entrepreneur, and a personal trainer. I want to welcome Christoper Sasha. Did I say it right?
Sasha.
Sasha, I still said it wrong. Forgive me.
Absolutely.
Sasha. Oh, you know what? Before we go any further, let's talk about this name. I've been working on your name for all week, and I've been saying it wrong all week. And I'm looking at the spelling of it. So what does that name mean?
It's actually comes from my heritage of Bohemia, so it's Bohemian for Alexander. But because my last name is Allen, they just decided to do Sasha instead of Alexander.
Sasha.
Plus we keep the heritage in with the name.
Oh, really? Must be special. Well, I want to welcome you today.
Well, thank you.
And you're looking exactly like a highly healthy personal trainer. Anyway, I want to welcome you again to Full Circle. Let's talk a little bit about, because I know we got a lot to talk about with Sasha.
No.
Keep saying it wrong. Sasha.
There you go.
Sasha. Let me get it together. Anyway, let's start from the beginning, because I want to talk about, we have several things to talk about today. So let's start from the beginning with you. School. I hear you grew up in the south side of Chicago?
Actually, I grew up in a housing project in the suburbs of Chicago called Carpentersville.
Okay.
Right. They're not as rough as the ones here in the city, but they're still basically the same. You have the gang people in there, and you get the bullies, and you get the drugs and prostitution, everything else out there. And that's I grew up there for a couple years, and that's pretty much where I got my foundation of getting into the position I'm in today. All
right, okay. So school, you went to school out that way, or?
Well, I didn't actually go. I mean, I was enlisted over there, and my name was over there, but I didn't really go to school. I was more out going to the shopping malls, hiding out from the police, and not going to school, just
so
hanging out.
Troublemaker, huh?
We were delinquents, yes. That's part of the whole bad boy image out there.
Okay, so if you didn't finish high school?
I did finish high school, but only because of the course of the action of what happened with me from the time that my mother died at 8 years old till I was 13 years old. When I was 13, I was adopted by a priest, and he was very adamant about education. So when he adopted me and let me move in with him, he made sure that I did go to school, and I did, but I wouldn't read books, I didn't study, I didn't do anything. I was still getting D's, and I didn't care about school because I didn't really think that I was going to be doing anything with my education, so there was no point for me to even apply.
Oh, wow. So from there, so he made you go to school, so that means you had to graduate from grammar school, you went on through high school, and did you end up in college?
I did, but before I even got there, I was actually expelled from high school 2 weeks before graduation because I have a problem with authority. And one of the teachers at the school used to give me a lot of detentions, and we didn't like each other, so I wrote him a really belligerent letter, and then I signed it, so they knew it was me.
Wow.
And the board of directors thought that this was not a good thing, so they expelled me. And my adopted father was the vice principal over there, so he talked to the board of administrators over there, and I had to go in and apologize. So they did let me graduate with them, but I graduated with a 1.1 GPA. So basically, I was illiterate. I didn't know what a lot of words were. I didn't know a lot of concepts. My English was an 8th grade level. My math was a 9th grade level. So I had a lot of catching up if I wanted to go to college.
Okay.
which wasn't really on the agenda either.
So how did you change your mind and end up?
I eventually got into school because I got a modeling contract when I was 21 years old, and at that point, here in Chicago with Elite, and at that point I needed a nighttime job so I can keep my days open for the auditions. So I became a bouncer at a bar, which was not a good thing.
Back up. How did you get a modeling career that fast in between school, high school, and college?
Because a girl that I was seeing at the time when I was 19 years old, she kind of pushed me in that direction and thought that I can do it. And at that time, I had really low self-esteem, low self-confidence. I'm like, I can't do that. So she kind of pushed me.
Yeah,
and
I read a little bit about that.
Yeah.
She had low. I don't see it at all.
Things change in life.
Yeah.
But we broke up, and that's what pushed me into it. I thought I could win her over again if I did something that she wanted me to do.
Okay.
So I did a photo shoot, and it was really nerve-wracking. My knees were shaking, and the photographer's like, you know what, have a glass of wine. So I had a glass of wine, and eventually it was like 2 bottles of wine. It was like I was pretty much comatose during the photo shoot, but it went really well. And I came here to Chicago, and I hit all the modeling agencies. And I got rejected by all of them. And it's like, after the first 2, I'm like, you know what, because I was a quitter too. Every sport in high school I quit too. So after the first 2, I'm like, you know what, this isn't for me. So I decided I was going to quit. But I decided to sit down at a park and think about things while I was out here, because it was a 2-hour drive into the city. I didn't want to drive back for 2 hours. So I saw a park over there, and I just sat down and I started thinking about what I'm out here actually for. And it was for me to kind of grow and me to find myself a little bit and do something, put myself out of my comfort level and find something new about me and see if I can grow. And I decided to turn around, go back, and I hit 10 more agencies, and each one of them, none of them even looked at me. They're like, no, we don't want you. And finally, Elite, which was one of the biggest model agencies in the world, the one that Cindy Crawford actually came from. Brad was the booker, and he's like, you know what, you look a lot like one of my friends who's a model, so you know what, I'm going to give you a chance. So he gave me a chance, and I got the contract, but I lost the contract too because I sabotaged myself a lot, or I used to sabotage myself a lot because I never thought that I was good enough for something. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't good enough. So I convinced myself that I didn't deserve the contract. So everything that my booker Brad wanted me to do, I just didn't do it.
Did
so
the opposite.
That's an authority thing in me.
Yeah.
So he's
So
like,
how did you get tied up in between that and then school? Because you was trying to go back into start college, right?
Right.
Okay.
So I got the modeling contract. I was doing the modeling, and I needed my days open, so I had a nighttime job as a bouncer, and that was not a good environment for me because I drank a lot at the time, and I hung around with the wrong people all the time. So I was in trouble with the law all the time, and I got arrested almost every single week. I was getting in fights. I was fighting. Pretty much every time I went out, I get in a fight because there was this thing where the guys would bet another guy that he couldn't beat me up, so we made money this way, and they put bets on the fight, and we win most of the time, not every time, but the cops would get called.
So is this something like the Fight Club?
You know, before the Fight Club came out, before Brad Pitt was even known.
Right.
I was originally the Brad Pitt, but I was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wow, okay.
So I got arrested pretty much 2 or 3 times a week. And the only thing that saved me at that time was I was living with a couple of police officers, and they would come down to the police station and say, yeah, he's a troublemaker. Can you let him out and we'll make sure he doesn't get arrested again. So they saved me quite a few times. But the last time, they refused to come down and get me out, so I had to stay the night in jail. And it was 24 hours in a little jail cell where it's cold. You have no blanket, no pillows. You're sleeping on a concrete bed. You have a lot of time to think, and time goes really slow. So I'm thinking, what am I doing? What's going on with me? And that's when I was in that jail cell, that was the time that I said, okay, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to apply myself. And that's what I did.
Wow. Are we talking about the same person I'm sitting here with? Okay, so once you started school, because what school? You went to school here in Chicago, right?
I actually started off in SIU, Southern Illinois University.
Okay.
Because my GPA, when I tested, like I said, my grades were way below. I needed to take a lot of remedial classes, and I had to stay in school for an extra 2 years for all the remedial classes that I needed to take just to get me into a college level. I interviewed for a job, and the interviewer asked me when I was ready for a transition into the position I was applying for, and I asked him, "What does transition mean?" So I didn't get the job, obviously, and I realized that a lot of people judge you on your vocabulary, and if you have an extensive vocabulary, people automatically assume that you're smart. So I really worked on that, and I started learning 2 or 3 words a day and built up my vocabulary that way. And I got accepted into SIU, Southern Illinois, and I went there for 1 year. And the girl that I was dating at that time, she lived here in Chicago, and she wanted me to be closer to her, so she asked me to try to get into DePaul University. And again, the tape recorder in my mind said, "You know what, you're not smart enough, don't even try, don't let yourself down."
That had to be a struggle to have to deal with that battle all the time.
And
for a while,
Unfortunately, most people do struggle with that. They get that negative recorder back there, but you have to learn how to fight it and believe in yourself. And it took me a very long time to learn how to believe in myself and believe that I was good enough for something, I was smart enough, I deserved something better. And it was a long road.
Wow. So you came here and you went to DePaul, and from there you finished, did you?
DePaul was a struggle too. DePaul is a very affluent school, and they let me in only on a probational status. That year I turned 24, and that year coincidentally they also started a program for adult students that don't have the education, but they had the life experiences. So I fell into that part because of all my life experiences. So they took me in on probation, and they said, if you don't make the grades, we'll have to let you go. So I was in the library day and night before the sun came up until night was around. I was there every single day studying, and eventually I made Dean's List, and then I became an AB student because I started realizing, hey, I can handle this, I can do this, I am smart enough, I'm not stupid like I was told all my life. And I started reversing that tape recorder in the back of my head.
Wow. Okay, so from there you still was modeling. Was you still taking any type of modeling jobs?
I was doing it on the side just to help pay for college. And the modeling, it was a good gig. You had to keep your days open again, but I was able to rearrange my schedule with the modeling. And
so how did you go into the bodybuilding, starting to work out with your body? I'm trying to figure out which one came after the modeling. Was it the writing of the book or the bodybuilding? I'm sure modeling first.
Modeling was first, yes.
No, I'm saying the bodybuilding after the modeling, after you start seeing how sexy you were, you went on to say, oh, I got to work on this body a little more.
Unfortunately, I'm my own worst critic, and I never classify myself as sexy or good looking. I'm always looking for the flaws, and I'm trying to fix the flaws. That's what I usually do. It's just me.
So how did you get into the
bodybuilding?
Yeah.
The bodybuilding actually happened when I was in college. I needed to get in shape for modeling again because I was doing a lot of swimsuit and underwear modeling, and I needed to start getting into abdominals that all the guys that you see wearing underwear in the magazines have. So I actually started hanging around one of the bigger guys over at the gym that does a lot of competing with bodybuilding. So I started hanging around him, and I told him what I wanted him for, to help train me, to get me in shape for the magazines. And he did. So he eventually, after a couple years of training with him, he asked me if I would be willing to do amateur bodybuilding. And I'm like, you know what, why not?
Now, how was that, having a girlfriend, modeling, looking sexy, the body? How was all that? College, all at one time?
It was, the best part of my day was actually in the gym working out, because the gym has always been my refuge. I just feel at home there. And I feel like I'm invincible in there and the world can't touch me. It's just a safe haven for me. And whenever I felt like too much was happening with stress and everything else on the outside world, I would go to the gym and I would just stay over there for a while and relax, de-stress, get my workout over and done with, and just recuperate and put myself in neutral and ready to face another day outside.
Okay, so at what point did you really start taking the bodybuilding, whereas till you start feeling that you wanted to actually reach out and start helping others?
I was helping people after my experience with the bodybuilding. I knew how the shows were run. I knew what the judges were looking for. So I was able to help other people while I was still in college compete. And it worked best for me because there was more competition for me. So what I was training them, they were starting to get pretty good at, so I had to excel at my own skills to keep up with them or above them. So I was actually helping people when I was in college without even really realizing I was helping them. I was just doing something I enjoyed doing. It was a hobby for me at that time.
Okay, and when did you really start realizing that this was at finishing school, because you say you finished over there.
Right.
When did you start realizing that, hey, this is taking me actually to a whole nother level where you can actually make a career out of everything you were doing at that point?
Right. Unfortunately, it wasn't an easy road for me. It never was an easy road for me for some reason. I just had obstacles to overcome.
I don't think it's easy for no one.
Right. If you want to do something special, you want to go away from the road that's most traveled. You have obstacles, and you have to have determination, and you have to keep your eye on what you want. You have to be focused and determined.
Because I think I heard somewhere where you said, never give up on your dreams, because your dreams can come true.
Right.
So is that something you kept in your head?
Absolutely.
Throughout everything?
The interesting thing is when I have an idea what I want to do, I focus on that and I try to envision what it'll be like at that point. So then at that point, then I work backward. And I take it step by step. What do I need to do at this step to get to this level? What do I need to do after that to get to the next level? And so on until you get to your ultimate goal. And that's what I did pretty much to how I get where I am today. But the thing about where I am today, I didn't know it was actually supposed to be for me, because when I graduated college, I was an auditor. So I was in the finance business and got my finance degree. And I was working for a company called Chicago Title and Trust as an internal auditor. And
really?
So
Wow.
yeah, nobody suspects me to be an auditor either.
Right.
You don't belong here. So I never really belonged anywhere. So what happened was I was moonlighting as a personal trainer. And the organization that I was working with as a personal trainer, they asked me if I would come on full board because they were starting up a new company. And the deal was that I would do all the personal training, and that would lead me into the CFO position, the chief financial position. So at 30, I'm like, cool, man, I'm a CFO at 30. So I jumped at it. And the things, again, didn't work out. The guy that was starting the company was taking the investors' money, and he took off with it. He didn't start the company at all.
Oh, wow.
So I was kind of left in the cold. I didn't have my finance degree.
Again.
I didn't have my finance job, and I didn't have a personal training job either. So what I did is I called up everybody that was training, and I said, okay, here's the situation, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'm thinking about going off on my own. Would you go with me? And 9 out of 10 of them did. So I was able to start a career with that. And I was very fortunate because most personal trainers, when they start working at a Bally's or an Export, and they have to build up their clientele over there, and they only get paid like $20 an hour. It's like, oh, that's not very much. You can't really make a living with that.
I didn't know that they only got paid. I thought they was,
Oh no, the company takes all the money and they get paid. So I just started from there, and eventually one of some businessman came in and he asked if I could train with, or he could train with me. And we talked a little bit about what his goals were and what he wanted and what our schedules were. And it worked out that I was able to train him in what he wanted for his personal goals. And from there, I was able to get the clientele that I have today from him.
Oh, wow. So now let me ask you, okay, so you did the personal training. We went on to, you wrote a book. Let's talk a little bit about the book, because we're going to go back. We're going to see some of this personal training work before the show ends today. But however, let's talk a little bit about your book. I want to talk about that. Tell me the name of it.
The name is Transforming Your Lifestyle One Belief at a Time. And it's written by me, Christoper Sasha.
And what made you get into writing? What made you write a book?
You know what the funny thing is? The funny thing is, English was my worst class. I despised English. And I never saw myself as being a writer. I never wanted to. I just did what I had to in college. But it naturally flowed. I mean, I believe in synchronicity. Every time I needed something for a topic that I was writing in the book, it would come to me just like that. It would come like in a newspaper, or it would come through an email, or it would come through a conversation. Everything happened just when I needed it. So synchronicity is huge with me. Okay,
so the name of the book again is?
It's Transforming Your Lifestyle One Belief at a Time.
Transforming Your Lifestyle One Belief at a Time. We're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to finish speaking with Mr. Christoper Sasha.
Sasha.
Why do I keep wanting to call him Sasha? Sasha. We'll be right back.
International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-236-8499. Over 20 years of armed security experience. The very best in shopping mall security, inventory watch, find missing loved ones, investigative open legal cases, community policing. Are you taking a vacation this summer? For peace of mind, you need our house watch service, cheetah surveillance, and much more. International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-236-8499. That's 1-773-236-8499. Call now.
Every now and then I get that feeling, and I've got something I want to say.
One of the great things about being a vegan is that the uniqueness of it.
And I've got to say it my way.
So gathered with me today are just a sampling of those vegans who have become loyal supporters of Soul Vegetarian.
Welcome to Soul Vegetarian Restaurant.
Golden's Tropical World. Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas and birds from all over the world. There are beautiful tanks, pet supply needs, including dog and cat foods, and expert consultation. Check out Golden's Tropical World, 8611 South Ashland Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Call ahead, 773-239-8809. Your pet shop.
Welcome back to Full Circle, and I'm Queen, your host. And once again, we have Christoper Sasha on the show. And I want to welcome you back.
Thank you. And you got my name right this time.
Yes. It was nice just watching you on commercial break, you know.
I feel violated. Do I get paid for that?
Oh, I'm so sorry. No. But ladies, you can't help but just sit and just watch. However, before we went to commercial break, we were actually talking about your book and how you, because I'm sitting here, I'm still in a state of shock and amazement of you are using these terms of you had low self-esteem, and it's just not believable, just looking at you, seriously. So tell me a little bit about the book.
The book was actually it started off as being a collaboration of all the questions I was asked in the 13 years I was a personal trainer. And it kind of evolved from there because I knew that I wanted to share a lot of my stories because I wanted to show that people can actually use the gym for different reasons. I used the gym as a protector for me because when I was a child, I was small and I was weak and I was bullied and I got beat up all the time, and I had to create a facade to be able to protect the inner me because I'm really a sensitive guy, and I had to hide that. So that's when I started working out and building what I needed to do to protect myself on the exterior. And as I was putting these stories throughout the book, I'm like, you know what? It might be interesting to see if I tell my story of where I came from to how I got to where I am today. And that's what the introduction is all about. It's all about beliefs, and it's all about trying to inspire people the way that I was inspired by other people to become better at life, to be happy. Because I wasn't happy for a long time.
Really? It's just, like I said, I am just so amazed to hear this story. But you said that you truly believe that you only can work out in the gym?
No, you can work out anywhere. I mean, the gym is...
but you said earlier that, you need to be in the gym.
Okay.
We don't want to scare people because they be saying, we work out at home now.
You can work out at home. You can dance while you're cleaning. You can do anything. Just move the body. That's all you have to do. You don't have to be in the gym. I like the gym because it offers me what I want personally, to build more muscle, to look the way... Try to keep my looks up. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. But you can work out at home. You can go for a walk. The most amazing thing is that you can burn 400 calories an hour walking.
Right.
And so that's huge. So there's 3,500 calories in 1 pound of body fat. So in a week you burn 3/4 of a pound. So
do you talk about this in the book?
Not about the walking per se, but I do tell you what you can do to exercise to be able to get your body moving so you can start burning calories. But also my book is more personalized because I have a chapter in there that tells you how many calories you specifically need. Because Queen, you're a female, I'm a male, so I need more calories than you. And our age difference makes a difference on how many calories you eat. Your physical mobility, your hormones make a difference on how many calories you eat. So I have a little program in there that can tell you exactly how many calories you need to eat, and it helps you out. What I wanted to do is I wanted to personalize for everybody to know where they needed to be so they get down to a healthy weight or stay in a healthy weight if you're already there.
Okay. So now again, you can check this book out. Is the book online? How can we go check it out?
You can get Transforming Your Lifestyle One Belief at a Time. You can get it on Amazon.com. You can get it at Barnes & Noble bookstores, and you can also get it on my website at www.fitbodiesbysasha.com. Okay,
and Sasha, how did you come up with this name?
It's my middle name.
No, the name of the book. The name of the book.
We've been focused with this Sasha for so long.
So I'm telling you, I just keep going back and forth with this name. We're going to just give you the name that I'm calling you. How about that?
How about just Mr. X?
Mr. X? Or just
Mysterious.
Christopher.
Exactly. That's even better.
Just saying Christopher and looking at some of your pictures, that's just even better. It's Christopher. We're going to show some of those pictures later, too. But how did you come up with the name of the book, actually?
It took me like a year and a half to actually come up with the name, because originally it was supposed to be a book for models, and it was going to be called The Underwear Models.
Oh, wow. You do have quite a few pictures. as well. So now in the book, do you also describe and show certain exercises?
I do. I truly believe that your core muscles are your foundation of your body. Every movement that you make actually comes from your core. So if you reach over for a water, not a Diet Coke, you come from your abdominal area to your arm. So every movement you make actually comes from your core, your abdominals. So I have a whole chapter. I have like 50 exercises in there for just your core exercises.
Okay, and you will be showing us a couple of those.
I'll show you a couple of those.
Yeah, because I need a little help. I'm trying to. So I'm gonna need a little help. So now, what about a full body? Because I know you were talking about walking. I know walking would be considered a full body exercise as well, right? Okay.
Well, I would say walking would be more of leg workout. It would be more cardio because your legs are your largest muscles in your body. So if you can get your legs moving, you'll burn the most calories. Most guys do want to focus on their arms because that's what gets the chicks. So they're not burning very many calories.
Okay.
Who would have thought?
Okay. So you do have some full exercises because I hear a lot of women, especially after having babies and getting a little older, and I'm wanting to just kind of, this is just like that part that's the hardest to go.
Right.
So I mean, I exercise was just like, even watch my calories and all that stuff. So we need to know some secrets.
Unfortunately, a lot of it as we age, our hormones start changing. So it's a hormonal imbalance. For the people that are dieting and are watching what they eat and they exercise and they're not losing the weight, it's most likely a hormonal imbalance. And for women, it's the estrogen with a progesterone imbalance. So you might want to get that checked out.
How you get that? Oh, you get it checked out.
You have to get it checked out with blood work. But certain foods, for example, flax seeds. Flax seeds I know are huge. But they also have a chemical in there that is an estrogen-like compound. So in your body, it mimics estrogen. So in estrogen, what it is, it's a fat storing hormone. So what you're doing is if you're taking a flaxseed, you're actually increasing estrogen in your body. Your body thinks there's more estrogen, so it's going to store more body fat. So it comes down to something as small as that. If you can change that, if you can get that out of your diet, then you'll be one step ahead and you can start losing weight again. Okay,
so now let me ask, diet, I really don't like to hear people say diet because especially after you start aging, I always say, this should be your lifestyle.
Right.
So do you talk about that as well as it being a lifestyle and not a diet? Because when people focus on diets, to me, you lose the weight if you lose some, and you go back to where you started from.
Well, first of all, we have to define what the word diet actually means. Diet is actually anything we eat or drink. That's a diet.
Exactly.
So, unfortunately, in our society, diet's got a negative impact. When you hear the word diet, you think of food deprivation, you think of styrofoam tasting foods, and you think of boredom and just shoot myself. I might as well just get what I want, the ice cream and the pizza, and be happy.
Exactly.
But you can actually, there's a lot of food out there that is very tasty, like avocados are extremely healthy. Avocados, I have guacamole every single day, and most people are shunned from it because of all the fat in there. But the fat in there is monounsaturated fat, which is a good fat that our body uses as fuel and also to help rebuild our body. So we need that good fat in us. So it's re-changing the way that we think. And you're right with the lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. So we have to continue with our little program to get the results that we want and continue to stay healthy. And I'm not saying ban, because I don't believe in banning any foods. I just had a pizza the other day, but I don't eat the whole pizza. I have a slice or two, and that's it, just to get the flavor, just to get the craving gone. Ice cream comes in little, you get 3 scoops now in these little containers.
But you also work out 7 days a week.
No, that's a misconception.
Okay, I'm just asking. Why you saying, I eat a pizza, a slice of pizza and all that. No, I'm not going there. Not me. I'm sorry. But go ahead. So
yeah, most people think that you have to work out 4 or 5 hours a day, and that's not true. I work out 45 minutes a day because what happens is when you work out, you stress your body. And then there's another hormone that comes out, it's called cortisol, and that's known as the stress hormone. And that actually stores fat also. So when you start working out beyond 45 minutes to an hour, cortisol levels start raising, and you start storing fat, and you're defeating your purpose of being in a gym. So get it over and done with, get it quick, and get out of there within 45 minutes to an hour tops.
So what would be a full workout for 45 minutes if for someone that's actually trying to lose weight and lose inches?
Okay, there's different ways of working out. So the way that you asked is completely different than the way I work out.
Okay.
But I do have clients that do what I'm going to say right now, is that walk on a treadmill on an incline of about 14, 15 grade, so that what happens is that you exert the heart, and the heart starts pumping more blood, and with that blood comes oxygen, and what you're doing is the oxygen goes to the cells and gives all the nutrients so that you can keep performing, but it also gets rid of the sugars on your hemoglobin cells. I don't want to get too technical.
No, go ahead. I'm following you. I'm with you.
So the oxygen, when you're breathing heavy, it's getting rid of the sugar on the hemoglobin cells, and it's putting oxygen back on the hemoglobin, and it's shooting that oxygen into the cells, which carries all the nutrients to get into the cells so that you can stay healthy and keep performing the exercise that you are performing. So I always start off with a 5 to 10 minute warm up on the treadmill, and then after that we'll go.
And that's all you need, 5 or 10 minutes to get all of this going?
Just to get your butt. I wish it was that simple.
Okay, keep going. I'm not going to cut you off.
No, it's a good question, because a lot of people are like, okay, I just have to be on the treadmill for 10 minutes and I'm good, right? Then I can have my pizza and my ice cream and
I know,
whatever
right?
else I want. And I wish it was that simple, but it's not.
We need Betty to fit in this chair. Be like, I was listening to Christoper
Sasha.
Look at me. Okay, so the 10 minutes.
5, 10 minutes.
5, 10 minutes, okay.
Just to, because what you want is you want to get the blood flowing through the muscles so they become more elastic, so that you don't get injuries. And also you'll be able to get the nutrients in the muscles so that you can start working harder.
Okay.
So that's what the 5 to 10 minutes on a treadmill is for.
All right, and from there?
From there, I usually break the body into different segments. And like I said before, your legs are your largest muscles on your body. So the people that want to lose weight, that's where I target first, because you're going to burn the most calories. And what I'll do is I'll do squats, and I'll do leg presses, and I'll do lunges, and I'll do burpees, and some other things. I'll show you what burpees are later out of the 3 exercises that I'll show.
Okay.
And then I'll work my body up to the smallest muscles, because I want to get the largest muscles while you're fresh. And as you start getting more and more fatigued, we'll get to the smaller muscles where you don't need as much energy. So the smaller muscles are your arms and your shoulders. So I'll go from your legs into your core, into your chest and back, and then your arms and your shoulders.
Oh, and all of this is done in 45 minutes.
Right.
So that means you're not doing a lot of sets of stuff.
Right. For a person that wants to lose weight, what I'll do is I'll put them through a circuit, and what I'll do, it's commonly called the HIIT, high intensity interval training. And what that does is it brings your heart rate up to 90% of your max heart rate, and brings it back down, and keeps going up and down, up and down. And what that does is it forces your body to use fat as energy. Instead of, because there's a steady state which uses glucose, which is sugar, and you're not burning any of the fat out of you. Well, you're burning some, but not much. But if you do the interval training, it makes your body use more fat, because fat needs oxygen to burn. And when you're doing cardio, you're not getting much air in there, so you're not burning fat, because the fat gets cut off. Sort of like a candle. If you put it a cup over the candle, blocks off the oxygen, and the candle goes out. Same thing as fat. When you block out the oxygen, the fat stops burning.
Oh, wow. So you definitely going to have to show me a few moves and everything before you leave the show.
Absolutely.
But you also appeared on NBC5 morning show, and you were actually on there doing a couple of demonstrations, right?
That was a really interesting day for me, because of all the cameras over there, and it was my first time ever being on the news. And I was there with a friend of mine, and we did a thing called Fight for Your Body. and it was about boxing because I box for charity, and she did kickboxing. And from my experience, girls like to kickbox because they like to get their aggressions out, but they don't want to get hurt, so they don't want to get hit back. So we did kickboxing classes instead. And so we did a 5-minute little segment about kickboxing and how you get your heart rate up, and a little bit about nutrition. And it was phenomenal. It was a great experience.
So we can actually, people can actually still contact you on your website if they're still, you're still available for a personal, you'll go to people's houses and stuff like that. I'm just trying to.
I do go to people's homes. It's true.
I just couldn't imagine opening the door and saying, "You're going to teach me some exercise." Am I going to be able to focus on exercising? Seriously.
Oh, because I'm extremely mean. My clients actually call themselves victims.
Oh, wow. So now you say 45 minutes, because see, I'm taking all of this in. So you guys, my viewers, you got to check me out. I'm going to need about 25 days, 30 days for y'all to start seeing some type of results, past what I'm already doing, but I need a little help. So
absolutely, I'm there for you every step of the way.
You laughing?
Just call me Sasha.
Sasha.
Sounds like a song.
Sasha.
Exactly.
What you said, I was mixing it up with Sade.
Exactly. And people do that. They do it. At least I'm not like a cat. Most people say, "Oh, that's like the name of a cat."
I don't know. I'm focusing on Christopher. But however, he gonna say that queen is crazy. You're gonna have to come. You're gonna definitely have to come back on the show again.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now you're gonna show us. We're gonna do a demonstration of working on the actual stomach first, right?
Exactly.
And you're gonna show me what I need to do, how many times a day or once a day. Because somehow I'm not feeling the one time a day exercise. Now, 45-minute workout, right?
45.
How many calories to eat in one day?
How many calories to eat really depends on where you are. See, there's a lot of extreme diets where they bring you down to 500 calories a day, and what it does is it actually makes
500.
500. It's I brush my teeth with 500 calories.
Right.
It's very small, and what it does is it actually deprives your body and it stresses your body, so it makes it harder for your body to lose the weight that you want to lose, which is fat. What you're going to be losing is a lot of water and a lot of muscle, and which is exactly that you don't want to do, because that muscle is actually what keeps your metabolism up and keeps the fat away. So you want to keep that metabolism up by keeping your muscle mass high. And I'm not talking about Schwarzenegger. I'm talking about being fit for you. Right. And every individual is going to be different. So when you ask me how many calories for you, it really depends on where you are with your weight and your age, like we mentioned earlier.
We're not telling my age.
She's 25.
Right. However, we're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to watch this wonderful demonstration of how to work on the abs and a full body exercise. We'll be right back.
International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-236-8499. Over 20 years of armed security experience. The very best in shopping mall security, inventory watch, find missing loved ones, investigative open legal cases, community policing. Are you taking a vacation this summer? For peace of mind, you need our house watch service, cheetah surveillance, and much more. International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-236-8499. That's 1-773-236-8499. Call now.
Every now and then I get that feeling, and I've got something I want to say.
One of the great things about being a vegan is that the uniqueness of it.
And I've got to say it my way.
So gathered with me today are just a sampling of those vegans who have become loyal supporters of Soul Vegetarian.
Welcome to Soul Vegetarian Restaurant.
Golden's Tropical World. Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas. Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas and birds from all over the world. There are beautiful tanks, pet supply needs, including dog and cat foods, and expert consultation. Check out Golden's Tropical World, 8611 South Ashland Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Call ahead, 773-239-8809. Your pet shop.
that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said, with the last words on my lips, that I am a revolutionary.
So it's so important that we be on top of this shit, man. And we mean it. Like people say, man, the champ, you be going kind of hard, man. We mean it. We will cross our T's and literally dot them I's and move to the fuck over them legacies, man. Power to the people, brother, man. Power to the people. Power to the people, brother, man. Power to the people.
Every now and then I get that feeling, and I've got something I want to say.
One of the great things about being a vegan is that the uniqueness of it.
And I've got to say it my way.
And so gathered with me today are just a sampling of those vegans who have become loyal supporters of Soul Vegetarian.
Welcome to Soul Vegetarian Restaurant.
International Detective and Protective Services, 773-483-7788. Over 20 years of armed security experience. The very best in shopping mall security. Inventory watch, find missing loved ones, investigate open legal cases, community policing. Are you taking a vacation this year? For peace of mind, you need our house watch services, cheater surveillance, and much more. International Detective and Protective Services, 773-483-7788. That's 773-483-7788. Call now.
Welcome back, and now we have Christoper actually standing on his feet, and wow, ladies, wow. He's going to actually describe or show us some demonstrations of how to actually work on the midsection that we all need help with. I know I do. Anyway, so tell us, what's the first exercise you're going to do?
The first exercise is going to be called a bicycle. So if you don't have much time in the morning and you want to do your core muscles first, this is the exercise you should do because it hits all of the muscles in your midsection, your obliques, your rectus abdominal, your transverse abdominal. A lot of people don't know what transverse abdominal is, and that's the muscle that wraps around your waist, and it's a girdle that keeps all your organs in. So if you can actually tighten that up, you can bring your waistline in.
And keep from wearing the girdles.
Yeah, stay away from the girdles with this exercise, exactly.
Okay,
So this is what I'm going to do is called a bicycle, and this is actually voted being the #1 ab exercise because of all the reasons I just told you. But you just lay down on the floor and bring your shoulder blades off the floor. And what it does is it creates a C in your body. It's called spinal flexion. So it puts the pressure into your abs and not your lower back. And all you do is just bring your legs up so you're at a 90-degree angle from your hip and from your knee. And just bring your fingertips. A lot of people cross their fingers like this, interlock them. And what they do is they yank their head and they're putting all the strain in their neck. So just put your fingertips on the sides of your head. And it's like riding a bicycle. All you do is go from side to side. Okay?
Oh,
This hits the entire ab core. It also hits your legs too because of the weight of your legs.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a chest workout in this also.
Okay, and how long and how many of those do you have to do?
How many do I have to do personally?
Anybody to see some results.
To see results, well, what happens is everybody starts at a different level.
Mm-hmm.
So if all you can do is 5, start from there. If you can do 20, start from there. But it's wherever you feel comfortable. When you start feeling pressure in your lower back, stop. That's your point, because now what's happening is that you're losing your form and it's putting the pressure in the wrong place, so you want to stop. Now the next time, maybe you only got 5 today, maybe tomorrow you'll get 6, and maybe 7 the following day, so you just keep bumping it up that way.
So could you do this in the morning and at night? Because some people need to do it more than one time.
Well, the funny thing is that you have to listen to your body. If you get into this position right here and you're sore,
don't do it.
that means that your muscles haven't recuperated yet. So just leave them alone. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're actually defeating yourself and you're making it worse. So just, if you're sore for a day, lay off, go the next day. If you're still sore, lay off another day, then go to the following day.
But I thought, however, we're going to have to do another show. What's the next exercise? Because I'll go on and on.
The next exercise, let's go up and let's go into, I was talking about if you want to lose the most weight, all you do is you do a lot of leg exercises.
Wow.
So what we're going to do is,
Okay, go ahead.
what we're going to do is we're going to do a lunge. And what a lunge is you have to make sure that your chest is up, shoulder blades are back, and you take a long stride, and you want to make sure that your toes are pointed straight ahead of you. And when you go down, I always have my hands on my hips, chest up, try to keep your balance. And then all you do is just go straight down. Now, what you need to do is you need to make sure that your knee is behind your toes. So this is bad because what it does is it puts pressure into the knee, and that's not what you want. So you bring it back so that it's pretty much your calf is perpendicular to the floor. Okay? And your toe is straight forward, because what happens is when you have your toes pointed off to the side, it puts pressure into the knee again, which will eventually start giving you knee problems. So make sure that your toe is straight and your knee is behind your toe, and you just kick back. Okay? Keeping the chest up, bring it all the way down and back. Now, I've been doing this for a long time, so I can go all the way down. Now, what if you can only get to this point and you can't go any further, stop there, use your heel and push back hard, okay, to your starting position. Okay?
And so then you have to rotate and go to the other side.
Yeah, you have to keep it even, because what happens is this leg gets stronger, you start walking around in circles.
Okay, and then how many of those do you have to do?
Again, you have to listen to your body. So if you can do 5, start with 5. And if you can do more than that, then go more. But what you want is you want to get a burning sensation in there. What that's doing is actually burning the fat in your muscle to make it leaner and get you leaner and
So
lose
is
weight.
that's working everything? Is that what you're telling me?
This one is working the legs. The one I'm going to do next is going to be working everything.
Okay.
Now, this one is called a burpee, and it's pretty popular.
I'm trying to get all the secrets, ladies. Okay. Okay, go
She
ahead.
paid me $50 for that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this is a burpee, and what it does is it works the entire body. So what you do is you go down into a deep squat. Again, You do whatever you can do. I've been doing these for a while, so I can go pretty low. And in my body, I'm using my legs, my rear end, my core muscles at this point. And you're going to jump up, you're going to come back down. So we'll do it one step at a time. So you come down, you jump up, you're using your calf muscles, your leg muscles to get up there. The reason why I have my hands up at the top, because it activates your core muscles. So that I'm really big on your core, because that's the foundation of our bodies. So then at that point, what you do is you bring yourself down into a frog, and then you kick your legs out. So now you're in a push-up position. Now what you're doing is you're working your chest, your back, and your shoulders, and your arms. And what you're going to do is you're going to go down into a push-up, bring yourself back in, and go back into a frog. And you go back up to the top and start it all over again.
Oh, wow. So I'm sure that they won't
Do
be
you want to do
doing
it with
to
me?
me. No, not today. I'm trying to
She doesn't want to show
get out
you.
of this. No. You already have done enough on Full Circle today, actually. However, I want you to tell us again your website, because I'm sure some of the viewers might be interested in possibly, I don't know, it might be dangerous to have him come to your home as a personal trainer. I don't know. So you better watch some of the people that call from Full Circle. Say, I saw you on Full Circle. You better be careful. However, give us your website again.
My website is www.fitbodiesbysasha.com.
Okay, and let's talk about that book one more time, because you also can go and read the book. You also can read the book and get some of that. I don't know about that squatting in, layout, and
You're getting too far away. Okay, the name of the book is
I'm nervous. Okay, come on with the book. Okay, the book.
book is Transforming Your Lifestyle One Belief at a Time.
Okay, and they can go find that book
At Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and my website, once again, is www.fitbodiesbysasha.com.
All right, and ladies, remember, you must be careful. This type of personal trainer, oh my goodness, I'll be nervous. But you might lose some weight, so you might want to get in contact. Website again.
www.fitbodiesbysasha.com.
All right, and I hope today's show has been helpful to you all and gave you some information and insight on actually being able to lose the midsection, because I think I'm going to try, I don't know about that last one, but I will be trying a few of those exercises, and hopefully in the next 20 days or so you'll say, oh, Miss Queen looks like she's making a change. However, I want to thank you once again, and I want you to come on the show again soon.
Absolutely. I'm more than lucky to be here.
All right. And you all know my motto, same time, same place, right here next week. Peace, and we out of here.
What's that now? What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? Look at shorty right. What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? Look at shorty right. What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? Look at shorty right.